Good evening. It is May the 18th, May 19th, 2026. Tonight I'm going to share some books. I bought some books the past 2 or 3 days. I've been buying books and I wanted to share the stuff I bought. Drinking some coffee right now. It's a little late for me to be drinking coffee, but it gives me more energy to work a little tonight. Probably gonna stay up a little, and I'm organizing the studio. As you can see, I moved the table. My drawing table moved. I moved it next to my books, and I am slowly but surely reorganizing my stuff so that it looks a little neater and a little cleaner. And it is a little cleaner. It is a lot cleaner, but I have a lot to do. Way more to go. But there was a lot of dust everywhere, and I dusted everything, and I swept, and I threw out a lot of trash. I like to keep receipts, and I like to keep papers and old boxes just in case, but I had to throw a lot of stuff away because I just too messy. I'm just disorganized. I'm not very dirty. I like to be clean. I like to, but I don't mind if something is out of place. But I guess that's not really a good thing. I have to be more organized with my space, with my working space. Café con leche. Estoy tomando café con leche. Buenas noches a los que hablan español y apenas hablan un poco de inglés. Los videos los estoy haciendo en inglés para que ustedes aprendan un poquito más inglés, afinen el oído, para que les suene un poco como arrogante y pretencioso que yo pretenda que ustedes entiendan todo lo que yo estoy diciendo en inglés, pero es importante hoy en día tener un poquito de conocimiento de no estar completamente nulo a ninguna idea de lo que se está hablando en inglés. Es importante. Pienso que es importante para los alumnos también. Inglés es un idioma muy importante y bueno, es algo para aprender, no es un castigo ni es algo que obligatorio, pero sí, bueno, más o menos es obligatorio en el mundo real, disculpen, el mundo real actual de negocios. No solo de negocios, de literatura, de ingeniería, los manuales cuando no están en español están en inglés. Se los digo porque en la academia de ingeniería donde yo estudié también hablaban de eso. Decían que uno tiene que aprender inglés. Entiendo que mucha gente no le gusta eso porque va en contra de sus principios. La verdad no entiendo eso, pero bueno, eso no lo voy a juzgar y no pretendo hacer un video sobre eso. But yeah, it's important that we learn English. I think it's also good that people learn Spanish. It doesn't hurt. But I'm making the videos so that Spanish speaking students, maybe college students or high school. I think mainly college because the content may be a little bit adult versed. Maybe your high school teachers will see this and have a better idea of what to teach you. So I guess that's good. I think YouTube is great. I love YouTube and I love Google. I love YouTube mainly because I watch a lot. Well, Google also because I I use it every day, and I am completely about making videos. I love making videos. I guess my style would I would have to explain it as like miscellaneous kind of thing. I don't really have a set script. I don't edit my videos. I sort of just I treat these as live entities. I have an idea. I think I've spoken about this in my channel. You guys are welcome to subscribe. I have a lot of content about art, music, and guitar playing. So tonight it's gonna be books. I wanted to drink some coffee before I started because I wanted to clear my throat. So I got books, and I got comic books. I've been getting comic books from Amazon. I don't want to share everything I have because some of the stuff I'm looking into it. I don't want to share everything because I don't want to give away the things I will be working on in the future. I'm getting comic books, single issues from the 90s, old school stuff, so that I can learn how to draw the stuff that I liked in the 90s. Now that I have a better idea about drawing, I want to look at making my own comic books and my own superheroes. So, 2 bags of books. I am a lover of books. I love books, and I would like to share my experience with books. But I guess I'll do that in a different video. I don't want to bore you guys tonight. Let's try to make a quick one. Well, basically, quickly. I love books because they help me learn. They help me learn, and they help my vocabulary and my current situation. I always turn to a book. Every time I'm having a problem, I turn to a book, and somehow I'm given an idea of where to go, and my vocabulary is enhanced. My memory is what is that called? Reorganized. I'm not a fast reader, but I mean I can be a fast reader, but it's useless. It's useless if you wanna be good at reading. You will have to start just like guitar playing. I would say, like with your scales, start really slow. I'm still reading. I'm learning how to read, and I read very slowly. I'm not here to impress anybody with, well, I guess I kind of am, but to be honest, yeah, like I've read some of that book. I guess it's cool. I guess there's an aesthetics to, saying I read a lot of books, which is cool, yeah. But if it's in the right context, if it's just, if you're just reading to, talk a lot of doo-doo, that's very different. Anyways, I bought 2 bags of books. I'm happy. 2 or 3 days ago, I went to Panamericana. It's right in front of my house. It's Panamericana. It's una tienda. It's a store, a big, it's like a Home Depot mixed in with a, it's like a Home Depot. No, not Home Depot. I'm sorry, Office Depot, because it has everything you need for your office, school supplies. But there's also a second floor. Well, especially this one. This is one of the big ones here in Bogota. We buy books, a lot of books. People love to read here in Bogota. Reading is part of our profile. Well, not everybody, but a big percentage of Colombianos and Bogotanos especially. I would say costeños and paisas too. I mean, I can't. I can only talk about Bogota because yo soy de Bogota. Yo nací en Bogota, and I know a lot about people here and who, uh, like a profile of people who read. And I'm very attracted to these people in a very formal, serious way. It's nothing like weird or sexual or um, there's an appeal to these people um, because they have a lot of answers. They have a lot of no, how, no. They, they have a lot of answers about questions, everyday questions, and I guess I'm one of them. I'm not. I guess I am one of these people. So I read because I don't want to be left behind. I don't want to be. I don't want to be considered kind of like a dummy. I mean, at one point, I guess I was, because I was lacking in reading. That was good coffee. Nescafe. Yo tomo Nescafe. Well, some of you guys already know that. Nescafe is my favorite, one of my favorite, next to Juan Valdez. The Juan Valdez vanilla is one of my favorite right now. But I'm back on the Nescafe, which is my favorite. It's really good for my digestion and it really helps me. Okay, so Panamericana is sort of like an Office Depot here in Colombia. It's got everything for your house, for your office: stationery, paper, pens, markers, school supplies, notebooks, etc., etc. They sell in some of them. They sell electronics like computers, televisions, like tech area. They have a tech area, and they also have a huge selection of books. They are they are a publisher. They publish a lot of books on everything. So it's like I think it's like a Barnes and Noble, an Office Depot, and like a section of Best Buy in one store. And it's been that way for years. It's been that way for since ever. I think the computer thing is new to the last 20, maybe 25 years. The computer thing, but they've always had books and they've always had stationery, and it's one of my favorite stores. When I was a kid, I used to love to go get notebooks and pens and lead pencil. No, not lead pencils. I used to like not markers. Magicolor. Lead colored pencils. Anyways, when I was a kid, I used to go there with my dad and my mom. They used to buy my school supplies. So I mean, I've been going there since I was a little kid, and and it's been well, they they seem to be the same size, but now they have computer stuff. They have a lot of stuff. Well, it says here on the back, home things. They have stuff for the home. I got that Marvel coffee cup. I got it there. Art supplies, everything from easels to pens, paper, pencils, drawing paper. I even got that. I got this desk back there. It's a drawing desk. It has a special angle, and it's just for drawing. It's not to place anything there, so I keep it at the angle, and that's all I use it for. So everything is basically there. It's right in front of my house, and I think one of the main reasons I live here is because of that. Because I have it really close to me, and I mean, I went to art school, and my life is dedicated to drawing and to painting and all that. So I need all that stuff. Something for the office, for stuff for your office. Everything, books, especially books. Back when I was coming to Colombia, visiting my parents, visiting my dad, there was another place called Oma. Oma makes coffee. We have a special coffee. It's called Oma. It's like special coffee, just a special brand where they used, and the store where they sold it had CDs and records. It was records and books, and they sold coffee. So you would go, um, back in the '90s, you would ring the doorbell. There was only a few of them in Colombia. Now it's a restaurant. It used to be a bookstore and a record store. And the one I remember, there was one in La 80, cerca de la 72. There was one on like 85th and 11th, something like that. Zona de Parkway, más o menos por ahí. You would ring the doorbell. You would have to ring the doorbell. It looked something like very, I don't know, something very English, or sort of like, well, back then it was very dangerous to be on the street. So my dad would pick me up, and with my cousins, we would go sometimes to, not to drink coffee, I would look for these CDs. It was very ironic that I would go to a record store here in Bogota to get my Pearl Jam CDs, or to get my, not Nirvana, my Pearl Jam, or there was something else I used to buy here. I can't remember. If I remember, I will let you guys know. Important information. So Oma used to sell coffee. You would go, you would drink coffee. It was like a floor thing. There was a floor with records, CDs, and then there was another one with books. And it was a very serious bookstore, record store, and they sold really good coffee. They changed it, and now they sell. Now it's a big restaurant, and they have delicious food. Everything from traditional Colombian dishes to modern stuff. Fish. I don't think they sell, like, it's like sushi. No, not sushi. Like Oriental dishes, but not really. It's like, like an idea of what fish and rice and vegetables, something. But it's very gourmet, and it's not cheap. Can be expensive, but it's very good, and it's very good. I really like it. Well, back in the day, they used to sell books. So now I go to La Panamericana, and I got my books. So I got some books. This is I got this Israel. I've never seen this book, and I don't know anything about it, but it was at a good price. And well, my stepdad, my brother, they are Jewish, and my cousin from my mom's side, my cousin Nicole, well, I don't think that's her name anymore, but let's just say Nicole. She's Jewish. So I kind of grew up in a Jewish household from the age of, well, I think I would say that, going to my uncle's house when I was 7, 8 years old. So since I was 7, 8 years old, I kind of know what it is to grow up Jewish. It was at a good price, so I got it. And well, anyways, I'm interested in sometimes I'm interested in Judaism and religion. Most recently, at Filbo, the art fair here in Bogota, there was a Islamic display of Quran books, or the Islamic Bible, I guess I would, for people who don't know what the Quran is. And it was shown to me by a very serious person. Well, these people, very serious believers of the Quran. he was explaining to me what he was singing a song to me, really captivating. So the Quran is very important to the to Islam and to Islamics, and well, I didn't know there was Islamic Jews, so there's like a mix. There's a thing there. I don't know. I don't know that much about it. I'm assuming it's more of a European um, culture, but it could be. It could be. Man, I think I have an idea why they had to sell it a little bit. It's a little. It's got dings on it, right? So they dinged it up. So, grandes civilizaciones del pasado. So Israel. Sarah Kochov. So my family, a big part of my family is Jewish. Wow, this is a beautiful book. It has big, big, big pictures. Israel. Wow, this is like aerial stuff. Look, this is like a mosaic, Greek. It looks Greek, but it could be Italian. Well, this has something to do with people who know about Israel. Maybe know what that is. I don't know what this is. I don't know what this is. I am, like I said, I grew up in a Jewish household from the age of, well, my cousins were, some of my cousins are Jewish. And my mom remarried, and we moved into, well, with, when was this, 95, 94? I didn't realize it at the time, but yeah, grew up since the age of 94, 95, since the year 94, 95, I've known what it is to sort of grow up Jewish, been privileged to know about the religion. I am a Catholic. I was born a Catholic, but I also did some of this. I was part of a Jewish household and part of a Jewish upbringing in Los Angeles, not in Israel, which is a completely different thing. Excuse me. Wow. Well, anyways, I'm not going to go through the whole book. I don't want to. Look, this is some ancient stuff. I love this old relic, well, ancient civilization. I didn't know Judaism was as old as time. I thought Judaism, I thought Israel was like a new thing, but it's not. It's very old. And wow, look at all this stuff. This is huge. It has a lot of Israel hoy en día. Israel today. Israel today. Can you guys see it? Yeah. Israel today. It's a big city. It's a very important city. Well, Israel. I'm Jerusalem en mapas y grabados antiguos. Medieval, Gothic period. Look at this. This is Gothic, medieval Gothic. I'm assuming English. Burchard, maybe it's French. Montesión, dibujado en 1455 por Felipe de Borgoña. Spanish? La caballería cristiana obligaba a los sarracenos a retirarse bajo las murallas de Jerusalén. Oh, the only thing that I know, the history that I know about Israel, I'm sorry, not Israel, but Judaism in Spain, is that a lot of Spanish is not Christians modern day Christians were one day Jewish. I can't remember what, I think it was the Middle Ages, medieval. A lot of Jews moved to, they migrated. I don't think that's the right word because migration is for animals. They moved to, they traveled and they moved and they restarted life in Spain because they were being persecuted by Muslims, I think, something like that. Which is ironic because I think there's a lot of Muslims in Spain, or there were a lot of Muslims in Spain. But since the king of Spain at that time was Christian, he completely reorganized the belief system in the country. I don't know. I read this in the internet. I don't know if this is true. Somebody may correct me and say that this is completely wrong. Spain in the Middle Ages was received by a lot of received a lot of different cultures. Spain in the Middle Ages. And a lot of Jews went to Spain to restart, to live there, to restart their lives, and to, I don't know what do you call it? Not like Jewish children. They look French. Some people look. I mean, that's very racist. Some of them, yeah. No, I mean, I'm assuming that there's a mix of Italians and French, Islamics, even. That who knows details of details of details of. Anyways, the story. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you guys. Anyways, this is the Jewish culture, Jewish people. I don't know if this is currently, or modern day Jewish families. So in Spain, the king, allowed all of these people, not just Jewish, they were from all over the Europe, all over the world, being persecuted. Sort of like like the United States at one time, they were receiving a lot of countries from a lot of the world because of their religion. And well, the king said, if your people want, if you want to remain here in Spain, you have to convert to Christianity. It was the condition for restarting their lives. And well, it's very difficult for a Jewish person, not just Jewish, Islamic person, anybody who believes and has a strong belief in their religion, to Galilea, capital de Galilea, Séforis, Galilee, la Mona Lisa de Galilea, la Mona Lisa de Galilea. This looks very beautiful far away. If you look at it like this, it doesn't look the same as if I'm looking through the camera. It looks very beautiful. The camera makes it look really good. La Mona Lisa de Teatro Romano, la Mona Lisa de Galilea del Palacio de Séforis forma parte de un mosaico con un tema dionisiaco. Dionysus. Interesting. Dionysus, if you guys don't know what Dionysus is the god of wine and crazy party and so I had that wrong. I thought I had it right. Dionysus. Dionysus is the queen or the goddess of wine and pleasure and party and crazy love, psychosis, related to love and ecstasy. I'm assuming sex also, pleasure, the pleasures of the world. Anyways, so I read this on the internet. I don't know if this is true. I mean, this is Spanish history. Somebody might know this better than me. So a lot of modern day Christian or Catholic Spaniards, people who live in Spain, were once a Jewish civilization. They were once Jews. I'm sorry, that's probably not. They don't like to. They were once a part of the Jewish community or Jewish religion. They were Jewish, and they really didn't have a choice, which is really difficult for. It's really difficult for Jewish people. They're not supposed to convert. It's part of their, it's part of their religion. They're not supposed to convert. But I'm assuming that it was massive. It was a massive amount of people who, if they didn't stay in Spain, they were going to be killed. By persecution, by, countries around Spain. I'm assuming other countries like France and Italy. Maybe not Italy, but probably Italy. And it explains a lot of, I'm assuming physical traits and the way. I'm not okay, so Israel, that's one, I gotta read this. This is interesting. There's a lot of interesting things. Sarah Kochov, Russian. I'm sorry, I hope I don't offend anyone. My intention isn't to offend anybody if I'm like, very quick to guess your country or your religion. I apologize. That's not my intention. Anyways, so yeah, this is why I got it. I got it because I have some recollection of what it is to be Jewish in Los Angeles, modern day America. But this is the origin. And my family, Catholic, very serious about, Jerusalem, Jesucristo, Jesus Christ, all the prophets were Jewish. Jesus Christ was Jewish. So it's important to know that history. And that's why I got the book. Okay. Let me find a way to, I don't want to do that either, because I'm gonna just put my crotch in from the camera. Let's look for should I just set it down on the floor? I got a little carpet here. That's fine. Okay, something a little more funny, not funny. These are Vincent van Gogh, the letters he wrote to his brother Theo. Las cartas escritas a su hermano Theo, el único que quizás le comprendió o por lo menos lo intentó, nos ayudan a desvelar el misterio del genio pintor holandés que fue Vincent van Gogh, 1853-1890. This was also at a good price, so that's why I got it. I like to look for, not necessarily, like in La Feria, like people look for discounts at the fair, and that's what I do at bookstores too. I mean, I look for stuff. Right now, I'm at a very important part of my life where I'm buying a lot of books. This is very current to my lifestyle. There are things that I don't do, but since I don't do those other things, then I can do this. I can buy books. You know, I don't do one thing, so I can do another. And I love books. I've always loved books since I was a kid. Cartas de Teo. Cartas de Teo. So I'm assuming these are the famous Vincent van Gogh letters to Theo, his brother, who was an art dealer. While Vincent van Gogh, in the movie, I saw the movie. I've seen it so many times that I kind of memorized it. Theo, Vincent's brother, is an art dealer who sells, what is his name? The guy who ends up fighting with Vincent. Well, he sells, apparently he sells a lot of the not impressionist, pre-impressionist, is it pre or post? Post-impressionist artists. Gauguin was one of them. He would sell Gauguin paintings, and he was trying to sell Vincent's work, but Vincent's work was very difficult to sell because it was too modern, it was too new, people didn't understand it. And I know Vincent van Gogh to be very intense, a very intense personality. And I'd never really got into Vincent van Gogh. I mean, I did. I mean, I can't. It's almost like what is that called? It's like people who say that they don't believe in Jesus Christ, but somehow Jesus is very much a part of modern day life. You know, humanity and what is that called? Philanthropy. You know, being good to your neighbor, loving your family, respecting other people, all this stuff that's very, you know, very much a part of Christianity or Catholicism. It's the same thing. Like, I'm not a very huge fan of Vincent van Gogh. I don't know that much about him, but I do like that movie. It's very inspirational, and his life is very tragic. That's why, I guess that's why I stray away from it. I don't want to say bad things about it because it's one, you know, it's one of my favorite painter movies. But his heart, he had a very difficult life, and which is very sad. And I like some of his paintings. I like some stuff. It just looks incredibly good. But some stuff is just really, really hard to understand it. And it goes with anything. If you try to dissect something very quickly because you have to, like you have to. The same thing happened to me. Back to music. Everybody loves Mozart, Beethoven, and Bach, and you have to really sit down and digest certain things because, especially Mozart is very. It seems like it's very easy to get, but it's not. There's some stuff that's very dense and very difficult and very complicated too, and you really have to give. It's not like it's there. It's apparently you put same thing with Beethoven, especially Beethoven. You put Beethoven's music on, and of course we like the Ninth Symphony, and we like fragments of the Fifth, and we love the Seventh. The Seventh Symphony, Beethoven Seventh. But we listen to fragments of it, and it's very beautiful. But then you try to listen to the whole thing, and it's really dense, heavy information. And the same thing happens with painting. And you have to give yourself to these things. You can't expect to see it in one day. Like, I can't expect to, get it through images only. I have to actually read this text. And there's a lot to read, but well, I'm glad I got this book because I keep hearing really, everybody who's a painter that I knew in art school talked, well, not everybody, but a lot of people talked about this book as being very important to read. You have to read these letters because it'll give you a very good idea of what was inspiring Vincent to paint the way he did. So, Cartas de Van Gogh, Van Gogh, Plutón Ediciones. That one. I got a Deadpool comic book. This is a Marvel La Filosofía de Deadpool. I don't know what this is. It's like, well, it's lo que tienes. Hola, admiradores. Super admiradores y todo aquel que haya agarrado este libro para leerlo en el trono. Lo que tienes en tus sospechosamente húmedas manos son las reflexiones irreverentes, la sabiduría frívola y sobre todo la comedia de oro que es mi vida, y todo en un librito. Eso es un gran contenido. Eso es un gran contenido en una diminuta obra. Oye, tú sí, tú, el que va a comprar este libro, ¿me pides un taxi? So Deadpool is I think it's a Rob Liefeld character, if I'm not mistaken. I could be very mistaken, and I'm sorry if I'm, But, well, there was a Deadpool movie. I think I've seen one or two of them. I've never really gotten into it. But I know that he is very funny. I most recently read the Batman one. There's a Batman, Deadpool versus Batman one, and he's really funny in it. He is very funny. It's a very funny character, even though he's, and he can't die, which is really funny. Like, he'll lose a limb or he'll lose a leg or something. And it's just funny because he just puts it back together. Well, I don't know if it's supposed to be funny. Anyways, The Philosophy of Deadpool, which is like it's like a comic book. This is a comic book, or yeah, it's a comic. Cool stuff in here. It's a comic book slash like art book. Really cool. Deadpool. Well, there's all kinds of weird stuff in here. Deadpool as a gorilla. Deadpool as a pirate. Yeah. Really, really cool. I'm gonna read this. Seems like, oh, it's got this like Andy Warhol, really cool Andy Warhol thing. For those of you who don't know who Andy Warhol is a very important artist in the United States. He created basically what is called the pop movement, pop art. He basically uses like consumption and capitalism as a main subject of his work in a very coherent and I would say poetic way. The way we spend money, is it necessary? And this shows you how important it is. So he basically is giving homage to New York City, giving homage to the American lifestyle, capitalism, and having things and being able to buy a new a new pen, a new vacuum cleaner. These things that were very, very difficult to do back in the day. Well, he grew up in the Depression, in the Great Depression. He was very poor, very like dirt poor. So it was very difficult for him to have anything at all. And he got good at drawing because he started copying. I forgot something he was copying. His technique is incredibly. He was really gifted as a draftsman. Not too many people know this. They look at Andy. They've seen Andy Warhol's work, all over the United States and in museums, and they don't know what it is that makes Andy Warhol so good. And Andy Warhol's drawing technique, his ability to create these incredible, huge paintings of. People think it's like a computer, today, everything is just sort of like created and it just appears. And he created these things by hand. Things were done by hand. And you look at one like the Marilyn Monroes. For a lot of people who don't know about art, you look at the Marilyn Monroes and you're like, oh, he just made like 50. He just copied them, and all of a sudden he put put color on top of it. All of this stuff was done by hand, which is incredibly difficult to do, and it's amazing. So I didn't know this either. And then when I learned about it in art school, I was completely blown away by there was an Andy Warhol art exhibit here in Colombia, and his technique is, I would say, impeccable. It's incredible. You look at one of those. Who else did he did portraits of a lot of Elvis Presley. Those are all handmade, and you would think that like he just he did some silk screening, but even that, one silk screen from another one is very difficult to do. Like if I do one silk screen and then I do another one, for it to be exactly like the way that he the results that he would get were incredible. He was incredibly gifted. For those of you who have seen Andy Warhol's work, and you go to these museums in New York, in Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, or Seattle, or the big the big cities in the United States or the world. People in Europe who they look at when not Europe, because I wouldn't know how to understand why somebody in Europe wouldn't know, but they do. It's part of their culture. Anyways, I'm going off subject. People in America that think they very quickly dismiss Andy Warhol. The same thing, because that's what I would do. I would dismiss his work as being whatever. But then when you really learn about technique and art and painting and silk screening and all this stuff, it's like, whoa, he was incredibly gifted, and he was one of the great, next to Basquiat, one of the great modern painters of the 20th century. Yeah. Anyways, and I got one of this. This is a book written by Andres Caicedo. Andres Caicedo is a Colombian I don't know what genre he was, but he wrote a lot about music. He wrote a lot about rock music in the 60s and 70s. He has a book called Que Viva la Música. It's one of Andres Caicedo's, we would say here it's his magnum opus, or his masterpiece. He died very young. He committed suicide at the age of 27 or 28 years old. From what I know is that he was allowed to go to San Francisco, I think, in the 60s, and he worked under a famous playwright. He was being basically given his tutelage was he was going to be a famous playwright, and after very many attempts at trying to get published or something like that, published or something with his work, he became very disillusioned with living in the States, and he came back to Colombia, and he decided to just write books. he decided to write because he wanted to be a playwright. He wanted to be in theater. He loved movies, and he wanted to be very famous in the context of, you know, the Rolling Stones and you know, salsa. Um, Héctor Lavoe, eh, los salseros de la época. Well, salsa was very important. It's very important here in Colombia. It's very part of our culture. Salsa de se me olvidó el nombre. Well, it's all in that book. Que viva la música. That's his masterpiece. Andrés Caicedo. Caicedo. Anyways, he would say, I would, you know, very quickly say he's like the Jeff Buckley of literature here in Bogota. He is, you know, like that mystery white kid who's it's very nostalgic to talk about Andres Caicedo because he was a hero here in terms of literature and modern day thinking. He was a big critic on where music was going, what movies meant to us here as a culture. So this one's called Ojo al Cine. Ojo al Cine reúne un conjunto de escritos delirantes y apasionados, casi poemas llenos de erudición y urgencia. Tributo de un joven a aquello que Guillermo Cabrera Infante, another, I think he's a Cuban author, definiera como un oficio del siglo XX. Anyways, he talks a lot about, in his books, his writings, his poetry, he talks a lot about music, art, bohemian, like philosophy. And there's a movie also. There was a movie, I think it came out like 10 years ago. It's probably not easy to find, or it's probably not, Que viva la música, se llama Que viva la música. Basically, the book is about. I read it. That's the only book I have. Andres Caicedo. It's somewhere in my library. Que viva la música. He's writing a story through the perspective of a woman, and it's basically the perspective of a woman in la época, the time of the 60s, in the late 60s, early 70s. Of what it was to be a promiscuous young woman in living in a very modern, dysfunctional lifestyle. You know, she did a lot of. Well, she was very much about. The book talks a lot about drug consumption, and it talks a lot about music and drugs, and he really relates. He's very much about marrying literature with salsa. It's really beautiful. It's really crazy, and it shows you the dangers of, you know, abusing of drug consumption, the depths of, you know, a dark age, almost like the beginnings of a lost culture. Latin American men are very religious here. Latin American men in their countries are very much about, I'm assuming, Catholic religion. We're very much about it, and it's in our blood. It's not something that we choose. It's something that's very much in our blood. But we also are confronted with the same, I guess in North America, people are confronted with maybe their native past, or their native relatives. You know, like the Cherokee, the Navajos, all this stuff starts to really appear in our day-to-day lives. Like we take the bus, and we cross paths with people who are of very much about being mm, indigenous in this country. And when you start marrying all these different cultures, well, it's it gets very complicated, and there are lots of philosophies. There's lots of love for music. Excuse me, music. There's a thing with Latin Americans, also men. Not just men, also women. We relate sex to music and to drinking, to alcoholism, and ojo el cine paso a paso. Anyways, this is a secret. This isn't something that well, it's not a huge secret. He is known for living in the United States for some time, and well, he was disillusioned. He came back to Colombia and he started writing these books. And one time I guess he had a girlfriend, and or one of his best friends, or I think it was his girlfriend, he basically wanted to marry her, and he told her that he wanted to get married. And I think she turned him down or something of the sort. He was drinking a lot and consuming a lot of drugs, or consuming what was it back in the Quaaludes, or pills. And I guess in one of his crazy uh, in one of his crazy trips, because he was very much about diving into his mind and writing. A lot of artists do this. Bohemian people, they dive into their psyche and they really start to spill stuff out. And I guess he was very, at one point he was very heartbroken, so he drugged himself. I think he took a bottle of pills with alcohol, and he killed himself. And that's why his life is tragic. But he's a hero. He's a hero here in terms of culture and beautiful critique of music. He marriages, like I keep saying, he marriages music, art, drug consumption, la cultura colombiana. I think he's caleño, and it's a beautiful book. It's called Que Viva la Música, and it's a great, very good book. I read it last year, I think, for the first time. I read all of it, and it's a very beautiful book because he talks a lot about, like I keep saying, the perspective of being a woman in that day and age. And there's scenes of, I think some like in one instance, she's walking into a room full of drug addicts, and she wants to I think she wants to smoke some marijuana, and she sees like heroin consumption. She sees sometimes her life is in danger because obviously trying to get her fix or her score. Anyways, but he's a very cultured person. He's well read, and he knows a lot about art and music. And well, it's all in here, and it's he's one of our modern day lit heroes. Or I keep thinking of him as like the Jeff Buckley of and a lot of people here will probably dismiss it as I'm talking a lot of doo-doo, but that's how I see it. I grew up in LA, and I can relate to the part where he's very disillusioned with the United States in the aspect of what happened. Why wasn't he happy, and why didn't he stay in the States, and why didn't he become this famous playwright? Because every time he would present something to his the teacher or the tutelage, whatever, he was turned down. And being turned down in the States is not like being turned down here. It's not the same, because you're home, and everything is it's very, very much about being home. when you're somewhere off in a different country, when people keep saying no to you, well, then you start to really realize that your place isn't there. So he comes. Well, I guess he came to a lot of like epiphanies, and he just started really diving back into literature, and that's what gave him, the push to write all these novels. I think he wrote like 4 or 5 books. I don't know exactly, but I do know that he well, he was a very he is a very important author here, very much loved and remembered. Andres Caicedo. Ojo al cine. Well, those are the books I got at La Panamericana. And you talk to someone here who's maybe, who's never lived in the United States, and they talk about Andres Caicedo, and they know a hell of a lot more. I saw a biography on his life, very intense. A lot of people in the United States have this perception of Latin Americans as being, Mexicans, which is very offensive. And anyways, I'm not going to get into that because a lot of people already know this, and then we get into the thing is that not all not all Spanish speaking people come from the same area or the same country or the same class. That sounds very very bad in itself, but it's true. In not only in Colombia but in Latin America, we are very we classify our niveles, our levels of education, our levels of religion, our levels of experience, know-how. So why do I get books? This is why I get books, because I want to improve and I want to become a better I want to be at a better level of comprehension, not only in my own household but in the street. And going back to what I was saying, that it's not something, it's not something, I'm pointing it out because the same thing that happens in Europe. People think that everybody that speaks English, well, yeah, I'm rambling on now. Well, yeah, it's just like this conception that everybody who speaks Spanish in this is Panini. Panini is, I think, an Italian. It's an Italian publisher, but Panini has been part of my life since I was a little kid. We used to get Panini when we would, we would want to buy these the World Cup albums, which is really it's going on right now. Anyways, not everybody who speaks Spanish in Latin American in the United States are Mexican. We have Mexico. We have all the countries in Central America. We have Nicaragua. We have Guatemala. We have El Salvador. We have Panama. All the countries in South America: Brazil, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Ecuador, Venezuela, Colombia, Chile, Bolivia. So all of these countries speak Spanish, and it's very difficult to. The same thing I'm assuming with China and Japan, and it's not anybody's business, or it's not anybody's job to know exactly, or it's not really, the same thing with me. It's nobody's business, right? It's nobody's business, but every country has its own. It's very different. One country from another. Brazil is very different from Colombia, and Colombia is very different from Brazil, and etc. 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 I got a Spider-Man. This is Panini, 2000 Marvel. Beautiful. Black Suit and Blood. So the book the stuff that Andres Caicedo writes about has a lot to do with Colombian culture, right? Sometimes we use generalization, like vague things about, you know, Latin America, or generalizations of things. But if I go to Argentina, things are a lot different in Argentina. Things are a lot different in Spain, even if you want to talk about Spanish-speaking countries. So it's very difficult. It's very difficult. The same, I'm assuming, with every state in the United States. Los Angeles is very different from San Francisco. San Francisco is very different from Texas, and Texas is very different from Georgia. Georgia is very different from Florida. Florida is very different from, everybody in every sector of every country is very different one from the other. Why am I talking about this? There was a point I wanted to make. Beautiful Spider-Man. It's kind of a bigger book. It's one of these Marvel. It's got one of this binding. I like it. Celebramos. It's a little bigger. It's like I don't know, what is this, like 10? No, not 10. Like 8 by 10, 8 by 10, something like that. Oh, it's a comic book. It's a comic book. I thought it was like art, but it's a comic book. It's all black, white, and red. Beautiful. I like it. Similar to the stuff I was doing. Look at this. Lots of ink work. Great. It's the Venom suit, but it's on Spider-Man. The first appearance of Venom when before, well, not Venom. It's Spider-Man when he's the Black Spider-Man. Really cool. Well, it's a big story. It's a big comic book. It's not an art book. I thought it was. It doesn't even. Oh, it does have some art stuff. But it's not. It's the whole thing is story oriented. Look at this one. That's kind of cool. Trippy. That's kind of crazy. That's tripped out. There was a reason I was talking about. Yeah, there's this misconception, that every Spanish-speaking person in the United States is Mexican, and it's really confusing because there's a lot of people and culture here in Latin America. Well, here in Colombia, there's, it's a popular thing. It wasn't popular in like 10, 15 years ago. To say that we are Latin Americans are all the same, and it's really ridiculous and stupid, which is not true. Even going down to, I'm sorry, talking about indigenous heritages, we're all completely different. So it's a big empire. It's a big empire, and it's very complicated. I got the Berserk 3. I have not read the third one. I have it up there, but I wanted to get this one just to have it right away because I saw the whole thing today. Not the whole thing. I finished watching the series 1997, and it's great. It's really good. Really, really good. I like the story. I like the twist. I like the ending. It's really dark, and it's really scary, and it's interesting turn of events. Very interesting, and I like the way he did it. I like the way he portrayed. Well, let's open it. I like the way he did it. he's not only a good artist, but he's an amazing storyteller. The book is very different from the 1997 series you guys can watch on Netflix. But this stuff is sick, yo. Oh, look at him. Oh, that's what it is. The series is the beginning. This is the... Yeah, I'm not very much El Deseo, El Ángel Guardián del Deseo. I'm not very versed in Berserk knowledge, but this looks like it's crazy. Sick, yo. This is super incredible. I don't want to show you guys. I don't want to show you guys the book because then it's gonna ruin the series. I guess this is the preamble to the series. So like you're watching the series and you're wondering what was one. Actually, no, that's not true. I don't know how this goes. I don't know what the information is on this. But like always, I'm really impressed by the drawing capabilities of Kentaro Miura. Why was I talking about the South America and there was a point I wanted to make. Oh, you know now. So Andres Caicedo went to I think it was San Francisco, and he basically went there to become a playwright. So from my knowledge is that his mentor or his tutelage with this person turned out to be a very not a very creative and not a very productive thing, because everything that he was presenting was very it was let down. He was there to create. I guess he was told that he was there to create a play, and then he was never allowed to do that. I'm not sure. This isn't 100%. This is just really quick information. I read this about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And he became very disillusioned with the idea of becoming a playwright because of the events occurring in his lifestyle, and not his lifestyle, his experience with the tutelage he was receiving in the United States. So I'm assuming some of that has to do with it, like, there's a generalization of beliefs. Kagurabachi 2. I have number 1. I haven't read I haven't read it yet, but I have like I basically did I went shopping so that I wouldn't have to go back and forth. So I just went there just the one time. I like the artwork. I've seen the first Kagurabachi, and I really like the art. I really like the artwork. I like the sword stuff, the action sequences. It looks like a chainsaw, but it's a lot different. It's not the same. It's a completely different thing. But there's really cool artwork in here. Really cool stuff. Storytelling. So that was the thing that I wanted to share with you guys. Basically, that Andres Caicedo went to the United States, and I know I keep talking about this just so that people who don't know Andres Caicedo. There's this thing also with drugs. It's very sad. And the thing with culture, these are the receipts. The thing with culture and with drugs, and the thing that You know, it ruins a lot of people's lives. And a lot of people are determined to not care. Dorohedoro. Yeah, my favorite. So I saw the series, and I have one of the Dorohedoros, the ones, the older ones. But I got this one. I'm gonna start reading it. Number 1, and I got number 2. I'm gonna start reading it. The story part. Yeah, this is sick artwork. There's this character where he's one of the sorcerers. She laughs at him because she thinks he's a crummy sorcerer. So he gets mad and he starts to put a spell on her, or try to put a spell on her. Or he does, and then this guy shows up. Kaiman shows up, and he puts a, you know, he's gonna swallow his face. But the art, the nib, well, the ink stuff is super crazy. I think it's really good. My favorite right now, and I think it's a she. It's a Kyu Kayashida. She's a great artist. Really cool stuff. Really inspirational. I really dig it. If you guys have not seen Dorohedoro, I highly recommend it. It's like another 2-hour video of me talking about books. Look at this thing. Really crazy. Like the stuff she does with the figure, the human figure, and the stuff she does with saturation, the ink, the grays. She's doing really cool stuff. I really admire this work. Really sick, really violent, but it's good. It's really good. Look at this. There's some stuff in color. En el interior de la bolsa. It's beautiful artwork. Really great. She really knows how to draw. Anyways, so I got the first one and I got the second one. Dorohedoro. The second one. Oh, el precio. Bueno, ya que. My dog hates it when it's late. He wants to go to sleep. But I gotta work. I gotta do this. I drink all my coffee. So I got 1 and 2. Look, this is what's her name? In the series, Kaiman and I forgot her name. Look at this! Wow. Look at this. Really cool. It's not in color. There's just like 1 or 2, or a few, like 2 or 3 pages that are in color, which is really cool. Which isn't really normal for these manga books. Well, some of them. I mean, the ones that I like are in black and white. This is great. It's really great material. It's my favorite right now. This is why it's my favorite. She's really saturating color and saturating action, and super saturated in heavy. It's heavy stuff. I really like it. It's like it's its own thing. You can say stuff about Marvel, you can say stuff about DC, You can say stuff about Image Comics. You know, they have a certain aesthetic. And then there's manga, which is completely different. But this within the manga thing, it's got its own thing. It's really special. I like it. There's something about it that makes it unique and makes it its own thing. This you can see it from here. The shading, the grays are very. It's like there's a balance, but it's also like very uneven. And you look at the paper, and it looks dirty, and it because you know she's illustrating a dark, almost like a apocalyptic city. But it's good. It's really good. Really, really good. Really cool line work. I wonder if she uses manga board for this. For those of you who don't know what that is, the manga-sized illustration boards, a little bit smaller than normal illustration 11 by 17. Just wondering if that's what she uses to make this stuff. Maybe she uses, maybe she's using something else. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Super crazy. It's saturated. Look at all those lines. It's heavy, 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 heavy on the line work. I should have gotten 3 and 4. Well, let's hope they make more. I gotta read these first though. I can't. You know, and I was thinking about, why don't I just get the whole thing? It's like 40, no, like 20, 25 different comics, and it's probably like, you know, I don't know, $800 or something like that. Whatever the price, $800, $700. But I think there's something about just getting 1 or 2, and you know, hoping for the best. Today I wanted to get the second cut, and I don't know. I guess something tells me not to do that, because it's gonna lose its something about being able just to get 1 or 2. It's cool. I have to wait for the next one, and I have to wait for the next one, and I have to wait for the next one. It's probably gonna take me a year, or not a year. You know, like 3 or 4 years to collect all of them. But I guess that's part of the fun. I got an Alex Ross book. I saw this thing last month, and I really wanted to get it. It was a little expensive. Actually, it was at a great price. But the first time I saw it, it was a great price. But I wanted to get other comic books, so I couldn't get it. I wasn't going to be able to afford everything. So I was hoping it was still there, and it was still there. Alex Ross. It's at a really good price. It's at a really good price. I think it's at a really good price for the contents of this book. So about Alex Ross, when I was learning how to draw, my first drawing lessons. My first drawing lessons were with Jaime, and we would meet up at the museum, and he was showing me how to draw. Because I wanted to possibly change my career. Anyways, I've already talked about this a lot. And we would meet up. Justice, Nuevos Héroes para el Mundo. The Washington Post. Pinturas dinámicas rebosantes de dramatismo hiper detallado. Hyper realism in comic books. Alex Ross, he is sorry, I don't want to offend him. He's maniac beast of a talent. He's got so much technique. His watercoloring, his light capturing, and he does all this with superheroes, which is really cool. Something about his style that is very laborious and beautiful. He gets that, he captures that light like nobody else, and you look at it and you know it's an Alex Ross. You know, it's an Alex Ross painting. And he does hundreds of these figures, and Jesus, man, it's just... I don't know, millions of layers of lines. Son los héroes más grandes del mundo. What was I talking about? Oh, so Jaime was teaching me how to draw, and we would first things we looked at were some paintings at the Museo Nacional. So he said, sit here and look at this, and sort of maybe try to draw some of it. I think I tried to draw a captain's leg, you know, like a part of a human body that was there, an oil painting. Anyways, we would do this for like for the next 2 or 3 months. And there's a Tashin, Taskin or Tashin. I don't know. I keep trying to figure out. I'm gonna look at it right now. I keep forgetting to look it up. There's a Tashin or Taskin bookstore in El Centro de Bogotá, right next to El Tequendama, or it's right next to El Tequendama, the famous hotel. And I don't know if it's still there. It might not be there anymore. But we were walking by there one time. We were gonna meet up. We were gonna go to a gallery. And oh man, look at this. My fingers are oily. It's weird. Oh, because I was drinking that coffee. But I didn't touch the coffee. I just touched the cup. Anyways, it's not... Man, I gotta wash my hands. Wow. So this is a comic book too. Anyways, we were walking near the Taskin store, and it's not that bad. My hands aren't dirty. I just don't want to get this all greased up and everything. But then I'm looking at it and I'm like, I want this book to be, you know, used. So let's use it. Look at this thing. This isn't marbles, is it? This isn't. It's Justice. El galardonado pintor Alex Ross, Kingdom Come, the world's greatest superheroes. So this isn't Kingdom Come either. It's just called Justice. It's a comic book, a graphic novel. Jaime was talking to me about Alex Ross. We were walking by the store, and he looked at through the window pane, or the window in the store. There was a huge Alex Ross display of Batman, and he said, "You want to get good at drawing, or you want to know what really good drawing is? Check out that guy." This was a long time ago. This was what, 20 years ago. And he said that Alex Ross was one of his favorites. He talked about Alex Ross as one of the great masters of modern comic book design and character creation, the light, the drawing. Obviously, we were always classes were about drawing, so that was the main ideas. He said, you want to get really good at, or you want to see who knows a lot about drawing, or you want to know what really good drawing is. He's just a master at his craft. So he would talk, he would talk about Alex Ross in that class, and he just told me really key things about him being a master of comic book craft, and not just comic book, illustration and drawing and figure, because we were talking about figure drawing. So figure drawing was a huge part of my learning, and I really wanted to get good at the figure. And Jaime kept saying, well, that class, it was just that class, he said, check out that guy, man. He's a complete master. Wow. And I wasn't gonna get it because it's at a good price, but I wanted to get more other comic books, but I said, no, I gotta get it this time. Last month I didn't get it, or what was it, like 2 months ago I didn't get it, because I wanted to get 4 other mangas. I wanted to get more manga, and then today I saw it and I said, no, I gotta get the manga, and I gotta get this. I gotta do it. it's at a good price. It's at a really good price. And it's an Alex Ross. So now I have a reference to, to aim for. There is there's a level of drawing and a level of rendering, and Alex Ross's rendering is, off the charts. It's just, what is this? In incredible drawing. It's just he's an incredible draftsman. Sick paint, watercolorist. Incredible. I saw that Kingdom Come video he made most recently. He talks about Kingdom Come. He shows you a lot of his process. He does a lot of photography. He takes pictures of himself. He dresses up as superheroes, and he takes pictures of himself, and he really goes the distance. What's really surprising, that I've seen, he uses that board. He uses the MDF boards. He doesn't use a table. I thought he would use a table, but he does. He lays it on a board, and he's all about the brush. He keeps saying, "Use the brush," and I bought so many markers. I bought so many markers, and I bought so many repeatographs that I had to use them. I couldn't just leave them there. But he's always saying that, he talks about his technique, and he's saying, he shows you that the brush is the fastest and the most practical way of going about inking a comic book. Not only inking, but coloring. And you can see it in his technique. He shows it to you, and they show it a little bit in slow motion. The Green Lantern. Look at this. Jesus. Sorry. I want to blasphemy. Really great drawing skills. Really great drawing skills. And this multi-hero thing. Look at this. This is beautiful. Super beautiful. He's not like your he's not like part of that Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld thing. Because of Image, they started Image Comics, so that became a thing. Todd McFarlane is really famous for doing that, and for the Spider-Man he did for Marvel. But Alex Ross is, you talk about Alex Ross, it's a whole different thing. Look at these sketches. These are beautiful sketches. There's some sketches here. I'm going to show you guys one of them, and that's it. The Green Lantern. This is beautiful. Beautiful. Really great. Really great. Very, very stuck to the comic book illustration. Doesn't really go out of that to create hyper-realistic environments, which is really hard to do. Like, he sticks to the comic book thing. You can see it in his sketch. Like, his line work is very much rooted to staying in the comic book realm. He doesn't drift off to. These are insane sketches. Wow. Well, I'm gonna be looking at these a lot more. So glad I got this. I wasn't gonna get it because I wanted to get more books, because this is a little bit, but it's really, really for the price. It's for what it is. It's really inexpensive. Entonces, muchachos, para los que van a Panini, Hay varios de estos, pero ya se van a agotar, estoy seguro de eso. Están buenísimos estos bocetos, mano. Mira esto. Bocetos de... Bocetos y bocetos y bocetos y bocetos. Muy, muy chévere. So it's at a good price. Look at these. Wow. Villanos. There's a lot of these pages. Wow. Anyways. He also uses, he makes his own models, like he makes his own, I don't know if he uses clay or what he uses, but I see, like in his studio, he has tons of figurines. Figurines, is that the name? So this is Jim Kruger. I don't know what, I think he writes for Doug Braithwaite. London, England, English. Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol. Oh, I know. I most recently learned about Doom Patrol. Well, not most recently. I know that Simon Bisley did like 20 of their DC Comics Doom Patrol covers. Anyways, I'm happy I got this. School. This is school right here. Got schooled by looking at this. And I have one more. Last one. I'm getting a lot of books, man. I'm getting a lot of books, and I'm feeding my brain so that I'm completely sponged up with all this art. I was showing you guys other books. I got the Louvre. I got this Louvre book. I look at it every so often. Whenever I'm kind of not knowing where to go next, I look at these museum books, and these museums have, classical painting, Renaissance painting, colonialism. They also have, obviously, indigenous artwork from the past, and it's just I'm completely I'm completely about this, and I'm all in it. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole. I don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes, and I hope it's for the best. But I love to look at all this art. It's just so much art. One of David Mansour's students, Joaquin Restrepo. He's a sculptor and a painter. And in the interview, is un paisa from Medellin, and they asked him, because he was taught by David Mansour for a season. And one of the things that David Mansour taught Joaquin Restrepo, I'm sorry, no, that's not, maybe that's what he taught him, but in the interview, they asked him, if I want to become a painter, what should I do? And Joaquin Restrepo tells the advice he gives. You guys got to look at a lot of art. You got to look at a lot of art. You have to be really, really versed in old and new art. So I've been doing that for the past 25, 26 years. For the past 30 years, I've been doing that. This is Batman, The Dark Knight, Master Race, Frank Miller and Brian Azzarello. I was reading the story a little bit in the back. Here, the thing in the back, it's really dark stuff, man. Really dark, scary stuff from the Frank Miller Batman. I couldn't pass it up, man. This is Frank Miller artwork. I really admire Frank Miller. Sin City stuff. I was looking at it on Kayfabe the other day. some of the pages, some stuff I really blew me away. Frank Miller art is, you know, top of the heat, top of the line. Really great stuff. And this one talks about han pasado 3 años desde que Batman derrotó a Lex Luthor y salvó al mundo de la tiranía. Hace 3 años que nadie ve con vida el guardián de Gotham City, Wonder Woman, la reina de las Amazonas, Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, Superman, el hombre de acero, todos los aliados del Caballero Oscuro se han retirado del frente de la guerra contra la injusticia. Pero ahora comienza una nueva batalla. Un ejército de poder inimaginable dirigido por la propia hija de Superman se prepara para reclamar la Tierra como su nuevo mundo. Pesado, heavy. La propia hija de Superman se prepara para reclamar la Tierra como su nuevo mundo. Crazy, man. This is crazy. So there's 9 comic books here. The Master Race, 2016, 2016. Oh, so this isn't that old. I mean, this isn't that new. Frank Miller. Oh man, this is crispy. Wow, brand new. It smells super good. Wow. Nice. Frank Miller. So this one is Andy Kubert pencils. Historia. Oh, lápices, tintas, Klaus Jensen. Andy Kubert. So Joe Kubert's son. Andy Kubert. I really like his stuff too. Joe Kubert's stuff is I haven't really paid attention to it. Well, actually, that's not true. I've been looking at. I looked at his courses last year, the end of last year. I really looked at those video courses and started gaining a little bit more confidence in my line and my inking. Joe Kubert, really great comic book artist. And I think I have one from Amazon. I got one of those. I got an Andy Kubert Wolverine comic book. I'll share it in a different video. This is great, man. Look at this. Beautiful. DC. I really like DC color. Something about it that's very much their own. That's what makes it, DC. DC Comics. Sometimes DC and Marvel look similar, but there's something about it when they don't, which is really cool. I don't know who this is. A dinosaur. Oh, Adam, Captain Adam. Captain Adam. Interesting. I have some Captain Adam, couple Captain Adams. I have not read them yet. I have not read them yet, but I'm going to. Anyways, guys, that's the video for tonight. I'm so happy I got all these books, new comic books. I'm really giving myself to, like I keep saying, to sponging up the, look, this is new. To sponging up the, there's a beautiful Wonder Woman in this. So this is Frank Miller, Brian Azzarello, Andy Kubert. Brian Azzarello. Yeah, it's not very much emphasis on our face, more on the overall idea of superhero. I really dig this Frank Miller style. Um, this one. It's very much of something I really like right now. It's just like simplicity and if it was without color, it would still look really good. It's really simple, very few line work, very few lines in the artwork. It's very basic, but I like it. Not that it's clean. It's sort of an uneven. Look at this. It's sort of uneven. Look at that Batman. Wow, really cool. Sort of like an uneven, bumpy, fat line, which is really cool. I like it. Something about it, I like it. It's really cool. It's very cartoonish, but it's really cool. It does the trick. Adam Kubert. Look at this Adam Kubert drawing. Where is it? What happened? Where is it? Here it is. Adam Kubert. Oh, look at this. Yeah, it's not perfect. There's some imperfections in the book. Brand new book. There's some stuff that's imperfect, but that's what it's for. It's a book to be used. Superman versus Batman. Gnarly. Sick. So I got a lot of books to draw inspiration from, guys. I'm very happy. Thank you to anyone who follows me. Your subscriptions help me out with algorithms and future endeavors. This is excellent. This is excellent. Look at this. Wow. Like a Nazi lady with her titties covered in the what's that called? Swastikas. The shadow behind them, the yellow used. Nice. Really, really crazy. Interesting stuff, man. Really crazy. If you look at the line, like I keep saying, it's like a bumpy, fat, uneven line, but it's effective. It's really good. I like it. I don't know how disturbing it'll be for some people, the swastikas, but this is famous. Oh, actually, no, this isn't it. No, I'm confusing it with something else. So the second half of the book is Frank Miller style, the stuff I like. Yeah, this stuff. Adam Kubert. Andy. This is Andy Kubert. Sorry, Adam or Andy Kubert? Well, there's both. I don't know. There's two of them. Two brothers. Andy Kubert, not Adam. Adam. I'm thinking of Art Adams. Andy Kubert. Art Adams. Andy Kubert. Two completely different artists. Andy Kubert. I thought this was Oh, it is Andy Kubert. Pin Up por Andy Kubert, Frank Miller. Ah, I'm confusing both of these now. Look at this. Look at the Andy Kubert. Look at this one. Sick. Very cool. And this this Superman. This is what I'm talking about. Look at her hand. The Frank Miller, this new cartoon Frank Miller thing. It's not new, it's just new to me. I think it's great. I really like the uneven, bumpy, fat, I don't know. It seems childish, like a childish type of cartoon line, which is really cool. I like it. Klaus Jensen, German. Andy Kubert, son of Joe Kubert. Brian Azzarello. And Frank Miller. Alright guys, that's the video for tonight. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. It's a lot of books. I am getting a lot of books. I've been getting a lot of books this year, and last year I've been buying a lot of literature and lots of comic books. What else to add to the thing? Well, I hope you guys found it informative, and if you guys are gonna go get comic books, you guys have a better idea of what to get. Anyways, that's the video for tonight. If you guys would like to subscribe to my channel, you're welcome to. Right now it's been comic books. Sometimes I talk about the guitar. I do some guitar lessons on here, like pro basic level stuff. I have a few Instagram pages, one dedicated to the engineering aspect of audio for record creation. I have an art page where I have all my artwork, my latest comic book pages, my artwork, and that's it. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, I would like for you guys to really learn from YouTube is great. It's great for you guys to learn and to look at books. This is great. I really like the book reviews that other people do. Some people show you the entire book. I don't know if I have the permission to do that. I mean, I don't want to get into trouble, and sometimes I'll show you a lot of the book, but these are new to me, so I'm gonna look at them, and then when I see that it's okay, I'll probably share the entire book, or maybe not. Some people share the entire book. They have more experience with this. But, well, I hope this was informative. I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good night, and get comic books, buy comic books. I'm going to, I have a box of, I have a lot more comic books to show you guys. And, well, I hope you guys had a good time learning about my experience with comic books, and that you have a better idea of what this channel is about. And I'm trying to end the video. I can't end the video. This is too much coffee. Have a good night, and well, let's not have a good night. Please like and subscribe this video, and anything that is comic books or guitar related or music or engineering, or sometimes I make dog videos. I have Neko in my channel, my dog, my pet Neko. Have a good night, and I keep saying have a good night. I'm trying to finish the video because I have something else to say. I can't think of I can't think of what I want to say. Maybe I'm just waiting for the 2-hour thing. No, there's something I wanted to say. For those of you who find it difficult to read, I have a video up on my channel it talks about reading. Reading slowly and, at a specific rhythm, you find yourself absorbing a lot of the information. I don't read that much. I'll read like 2 or 3 or 4 pages a day of something, and then I'll switch the book. And when I don't do that and I read 10 pages, 20 pages of one thing, sometimes I'm not even really paying attention to what I'm reading. So I don't recommend you guys do that. If you're starting out to read, read 2 or 3 or 4 pages of something and then just put it away. That's the beauty of having bookmarks. And I had a bookmark here and now I can't find it. That's the beauty of having bookmarks. And I'm reading Punk Rock Jesus by Sean Murphy right now. And last night I read like 10 pages and then I was falling asleep. And before I keep reading and maybe the comic book might fall, or I might, sleep on the comic book and ruin the pages. Before I start falling asleep, I just, set the comic book. I set the bookmark. I'm like, my eyes are closing and I'm about to fall asleep. So I put the bookmark there. It doesn't matter where I ended. I'll figure it out tomorrow. So I close the book. I set it on the table and I go to sleep. And it's going to take me, 6 times more, time. It's going to take me a lot longer to read a comic book than it normally would if I just read 3 or 4 pages a day. But it's my comic book and I don't have to, impress anybody with. I'm getting a lot of books because I want to read and read and read and just have access to all this information, because I need to do a lot of drawing. I need to do a lot of illustration. I need to improve my skills on drawing and the computer. I have to get really good at digital art also, and I need all this reference. And this is only an investment for my future. Whoever is subscribed to my channel, I really thank you guys for paying attention to all the stupid things I say. They're not stupid things, but information. My opinions are my opinions. I hope I don't offend anybody, and I hope I don't say things that are, derogatory. Me, like everybody else, I'm human. I make mistakes, and I have a lot of things to share. I make these videos all, mainly for me, and sometime down the line, I will look at these videos and I have a clear view of what I was thinking, when I was creating the video. There's so much art here. I got Spider-Man, I got DC Comics, Alex Ross, and a master of the comic book, and Frank Miller, Dorohedoro. I am very impressed with Dorohedoro. This manga is out of this world. I really like it. Kagurawachi. I have to read the story. I know that the art is excellent, but the story, I hear it's great. I hear it's really good. I think Kagurawachi is going to come out with soon. It's going to come out on Netflix. There's going to be a series, cartoon. I don't know when, but I read it most recently. This thing is out of this. This thing is ridiculously good, and it's super dark, sick, and medieval-ish, and dark, violent, super psychotic, crazy, vampire-ish, really great. I got the Deadpool. I'm really happy about, because it looks like something I could probably start looking at, maybe putting together a little book of my own characters and my own stuff. And my own stuff. I'm learning so much from drawing Spider-Man, so much from Marvel. I'm getting these comic books from Amazon, and I'm learning so much. Thank you guys, Amazon. Thank you, gracias Panini, gracias Panamericana. Gracias mamá, gracias papá, gracias familia. All you guys who are watching, who are, you know, learning from my experience. Thank you for your support, even if it's just looking at the video or you know, having a little, you know, being entertained by the stuff I say, you know, sharing something, and you know, really getting into developing. I'm really getting into developing my professional profile, and this well, I make YouTube videos, you know. It's not, I'm not doing this to offend anybody, or this isn't something that, you know, I'm not doing this to sell specifically, but I am. I mean, I kind of am. I do have experience in sales, and I want you guys to have this information. Anyways, I've rambled on for 2 hours. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.